week's episode is all about 2024 fall knitting and sewing inspiration. So if that sounds like something you're into, get yourself something to drink and grab your knitting and let's get cozy. Hi, welcome back to my channel, Knitting by the Bay. My name is Christy, and this is my place on YouTube where I love to talk about all things fiber arts, mainly knitting, but a lot of sewing recently, and sometimes some cross stitch or embroidery or whatever other crafts I'm into at the moment. Today, I wanted to share with you 15 of my knitting plans. Obviously, I won't be knitting all of those, but I do hope to knit a good amount of them. And I also hope to share with you and inspire you with maybe some patterns you haven't seen before. I've decided to categorize everything into 4 different categories. So first I'm going to start with accessories, and then we'll get into cardigans, and then pullovers, and then I've saved the sewing for the end in case you're only here for the knitting, which is totally fine. But if you are interested in some of the sewing, I think I have about 5 different patterns that I'm interested in making. So let's get started with, also, I've got the 4 categories, and then the 3 knitting categories I've also divided into subcategories. So I'm going to share with you one basic sweater from that category, 1 color work, and 1 cabled pattern, because I really love both cables and color work for the fall season. So I'm really excited about some of these that I have on my list today. So let's get started with accessories. I am really excited because I think I'm going to get myself a new winter coat. I have like a regular, like a winter coat for going sledding and out, in the snow and stuff like that. But I wanted to get more of a dressier coat. So I'm hoping to get a new coat, like a new navy colored pea coat. I'm looking at one from LL Bean, which I really like, and I've wanted that coat for a very long time. So I think that would be a really good coat for, to keep for a long time. It's very like a basic sort of coat that goes with everything, but it can be a little dressy or not so dressy. So a lot of my accessories, I'm planning I want them to match that coat. So the first one I'm looking at, and I have my laptop here so I can see the projects as well. So if I look down, sometimes that's what I'm looking at. But my first one is called the Best Beret, and this one is by James & Watts. And this is a worsted weight beret knit on the ribbing on US 4 and the body of the beret on US 7. And because of the worsted weight yarn, it creates sort of a really dense fabric that's almost like felt-like. And I like that idea, and I like the simplicity of this beret. I like the cute little tab on the top. I find because my hair is like shorter, I really like the look of like a slouchy beret instead of a toque. I do still like toques, but for me, with my hair the way that it is, a beret sort of suits it better, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really like this beret, and actually 3 out of the 4 hats on this list are berets. But this one, I was thinking maybe to do this one in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the color Postcard, which is a gray color. Yeah, I really like that one. My next one is beret number 1. And this one is by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And this one is a fingering weight beret, and it's knit, or I would like to knit it actually with Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk mohair in the color either putty, or which I think might have been, they might have changed the name of that yarn, that color, to limestone, I think. But anyway, either in that color or in an oatmeal color. I think for this one, I would most likely do the little tab on the top instead of the pom-pom. The pom-pom is super cute, but I think I like the look of the little tab more. And I also, this one I like, it's very similar to the Best Beret, other than the weight of yarn that's used. And I really like this one because of the addition of mohair. It gives it a nice, like, soft, romantic sort of feel, which I really liked. All right, and now my third hat on here is called the Grow hat. Now this is a hat and not a beret. And this one is by Fiber Tales, and it's a DK weight yarn. So I was thinking to possibly use Durarum Natura Gilead in the color Pouvre et Sol. And that one is actually a worsted weight yarn, but I think that would be okay. I did see some projects on there using this specific yarn, so I think that would be okay. This one is knit from the bottom up, starting with ribbing, and it is knit, the ribbing on US 4 and the body of the hat on US 6. And yeah, you knit the ribbing first, and then you keep continuing to knit, and then you knit the beautiful plant motif that it has on there. I thought that was really pretty. And then my fourth hat on this list is the Field Beret, and this one is by Camilla Vad, and it's a DK weight yarn. And for this one, I was thinking to possibly use Knitting for Olive, mohair, and merino in the color Dusty Rose. I really like that soft pink sort of color. And I thought this was such a beautiful beret with a really nice texture on it. The green pattern looks really fun to knit. Yeah, and I think it would look really lovely in a dusty rose color with the navy colored peacoat that I'm hoping to get. And that is it for the hats. Next, I wanted to talk about some field mittens. These are also by Camilla Van, and they match the field beret. They are a DK weight as well. And for this one, I would also like to use the same Knitting for Olive, merino and mohair, and dusty rose. And these are lovely fingerless mittens that I think are so pretty. And I think that they might take a little while to knit with that grain pattern in them, but I think they will look so special with the matching hat. And I thought so pretty and a lot of fun to knit. Second pair of mittens are the Songbird mittens, and I've actually started on these ones last year, and then I put them aside to well, actually what happened was I was supposed to start on the thumb part. I had finished the whole mitten. I was supposed to start on the thumb, and then I just sort of got a little confused in the pattern, and I think that was because I was a little bit less experienced at that time, and I think if I were to go back and do it now, I probably wouldn't have too much trouble, and I forgot to bring them. So I'm going to go grab those and I'll be right back. All right, so here's what I've got done so far. And I have shown these mittens and talked about this pattern on one of my previous episodes, which I will link for you down below if you're interested in hearing a bit more about this pattern. But it's a very beautiful color work mitten. And this is a pattern by Erica Huser, and it's a fingering weight yarn. And I decided to use Sandnes Garn Sisu, and I can't remember the names of the colors, but this is a very light gray, and then this is sort of a darker grayish navy blue. And I really love this pattern. The details in it are so beautiful. Like even the back of the mitten, the sides of the mittens, there's so much detail to it. I think it'll look a lot better once it's been blocked. But yeah, so I've pretty much got most of it done on this first one. And it really didn't take that long to make, to be honest. But I got stuck on the thumb. So I think I need to go back and finish that and start on get the second one made as well, because they are so nice, and I think they would look really nice with my coat as well. Next accessory I wanted to talk to you about is called Drift Lines, and this is a pattern by Shannon Cook. It's basically a shawl and a cowl built into one. So when you're wearing it from the back, it looks more like a cowl, and then from the front, it drapes down like a shawl. And I think that that's really a really cool design because it will be like really easy to wear under a coat. It won't get all bunched up. It'll be nice and comfortable under there. And it looks like a pretty easy knit, but yet a lot of fun to knit as well. It's a worsted weight cowl, and the suggested yarn is Durarrum Natura Gilead. And so I thought that, yeah, I would like to make that to go with, if I do eventually make the grow hat, I would do it in the same color, the Pullovers Sol, and then those would match. I think that would look really good. I've never really been into shawls before. I've never knit a shawl. I've never worn a shawl, but I'm starting to really like these sort of more basic looking ones that are all in one color, but with a little bit of texture to them. I thought that those look really good. So I was also looking at one that's called the Sunday Morning Shawl, and this one is by Espace Tricot, and it's actually a free pattern, and I really like the look of this one. It's worked in alternate sections of stockinette with some twisted rib, and then it has a row of baubles as well. And I thought that this one as well would look really great. It's a DK weight yarn, but I would really like to make it in Durarrum Natura's Gilead, again in the Pullovers Sol. If I do end up making a shawl, I hope to make that one the Sunday morning shawl. Now let's get into the second category, which is cardigans. I'm really interested, as I know a lot of you guys are as well, in making more cardigans this season. And the first one that I wanted to talk about for my basic subcategory is the home cardigan, and this is by Cadre, and it's a bulky weight yarn, and I was hoping maybe to use this Lion brand fisherman's wool, which I've had in my stash for a very long time. You can see I've got two more of it up there, and this is the color Brown Heather. It's a really soft, dusty sort of brown color. I like it because I think it goes with my skin tone a lot better than some of the more richer browns, but it still is brown. It does still feel like fall, autumn sort of kind of color. So this is my way of doing something that will still kind of go with my skin tone, but will feel a bit autumnal. So anyway, this one is, I was hoping to use this, but also to hold it with a Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the color linen. And I thought that that would give it sort of a more like, I don't know what you call it, like variegated or mottled sort of look to this color, which is already, it's not a solid color at all. I think this is undyed wool. Yeah, it's very rustic feeling. And I think that that would look nice to give it more of like a softer look as well. Would look really nice, but I'm not sure about the color linen. I have to keep looking through and see. It's really hard to tell. I find that Knitting for Olive yarns don't always look the same in person as they look on their website. So if you have any ideas of a color that you think would go well with this, I don't want it to be exactly the same color. I want it to be a little bit lighter than this to give it that variegated look. So the home cardigan is a drop shoulder V-neck button-up cardigan. It's designed to sit about at hip length, but it's easily adjusted. You can make it longer. I would like to probably knit, I would want to knit it a bit longer down to like the top of my thighs probably, because I like to wear it with leggings and boots, and I just sort of like that look of the, the oversized simplicity of this cardigan. I really love. Yeah, and it has a suggested ease of 8 to 10 inches. I will probably go with the lower end of ease, about 8 inches, I'm thinking. And it has just a classic ribbed button band. This one looks a lot like, although this one is a bulky weight, it looks a lot like the Champagne cardigan by Petite Knit that I've already knit, except for that one has a double folded button band, which was kind of fun to knit, but also kind of not fun to knit. It did take a very long time to do that button band. So I would like to see how this home cardigan knits up with just a simple ribbed button band. So yeah, My second cardigan, now for the cabled section, is the 3 Seasons cardigan, and this is by Wool & Pine, and it's a worsted weight yarn. And I was thinking possibly to use Lion Brand Wool Ease. I have already in my stash the color Raindrops, I think, which is a dusty purple color, and I thought that that would look really nice with these cables. I love the cables in this design, and the V-neck is a nice like deep V. It's worked flat and seamed together, and it includes cables and lace in it. And I think that would look really pretty over a dress or with some high-waisted pants. Yeah, love it. It does have some lace here. I think it's in the arms here, which for a winter garment, it is suggested that you use a cotton yarn for this. So I think it's more of a spring, fall kind of sweater. But yeah, if you wore it over a long sleeve dress or a long sleeve shirt, I think that would look really nice. My last cardigan that's on my list is a colorwork cardigan called Galloway, and this is by Jared Flood, and it's a worsted weight yarn that's used in this pattern, and I was thinking I would like to use Cascades 220. I have seen another project by a Ravelry knitter named Valerie is Knitting, and I'm going to show you a picture of her finished Galloway cardigan, and I love the color scheme that she used for this, and she used Cascades 220 to do this. And yeah, so I want to take inspiration from the same colors that she used in her project. I really like the Scandinavian style of color work that's going on in this, as well as the very exaggerated V. In the cardigan in Jared Flood's pattern, he does it sort of where the front overlaps with the other front. So I guess you pick up more stitches on the front, and then I don't know how to explain it, but it overlaps slightly, and I'll show you a picture of what I mean by that. And Valerie is Knitting, and her sweater, she didn't do that. She just cast on less stitches and just decreased so that it was more of a straight front on the cardigan, and I really like that. So I hope to do that if I do make this sweater. I hope to copy her notes that she left so nicely on her pattern page. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say about the Galloway cardigan. So now let's talk about some pullovers that are on my list. I should probably start off by talking about the one that I'm wearing, and this is called the Kinsella sweater, and it's by Anna Moore. And I knit this, I guess, at the end of last year. And I will put a link to my podcast where I talk more in depth about this sweater if you're interested at all in making it, and I'll show you. It's an oversized, raglan sleeve sweater with all over cables. This was a lot of fun to knit. I really enjoyed it. So if you're interested in learning at all about this one, then you can check out my previous podcast about that. But let's get into some of my my plans. So my first one that I'm interested in is the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry, and this is a very well-known pattern. A lot of people have knit this one, and it has been on my list. Actually, I do own this pattern already, and I haven't gotten around to making it, but I was originally, if you watched my last podcast, I was thinking to make the Diagon Alley sweater or jumper by Fable Knitwear, which is such an adorable pattern, and I still might make it in the future. I'm not sure, but I'm a little bit, I was a little bit nervous about the puffy sleeves because I do have quite broad shoulders, and like if I have the wrong type of puffy sleeves, it can just make me look like a football player. And I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to execute those puffy sleeves, properly, and I might end up like that. So yeah, in the picture of her samples and in a lot of the other knitters projects, they look so cute. I'm just not sure that they would look cute on me. I don't know. I might make it in the future, who knows, because it's such a pretty sweater. But anyway, for now, I'm thinking maybe the DRK everyday sweater, because it has like, it's a very cute, like little, it's cropped, and it looks like a very fun and easy pattern to knit. And I was originally wanting to make the Diagon Alley sweater to wear underneath the Burnside Bibs that I made, which is a jumpsuit sewing pattern that I've made many of. And I thought that that sweater would look really cute under the jumpsuit. But I do notice in Andrea Mowry's samples, she's wearing the DRK everyday sweater under a pair of overalls, and it looks really cute. So I think I will start with that one, and it's a sport weight yarn used in that pattern. And so I would really like to use Durarum Natura Ulysses in the color Cedar, which I was planning for my Diagon Alley jumper. So I'm still going to use that, and I'm hoping to order that very soon to get started on it, because I'm almost done with my last sweater that I'm working on right now. I'm going to have some water. So yeah, I'm really excited to get started on that. I think that's going to be my next project. And the second one on my list of pullovers for my cabled section is the Moby sweater. And this as well is a very popular sweater. A lot of people have knit this one too. This is by Petite Knit, and it's a worsted weight yarn that's used in this pattern. And again, I was thinking, if I don't make the home cardigan, I would like to make the Moby sweater in this Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool. I have seen some other projects using this yarn, and they look pretty good. So yeah, I was hoping to do that. It looks like a very nice fit, and I think it would look really great with either jeans or leggings. So that is on my list as well. And then my last section or subsection in my pullovers category is color work, and I have a tie between two different color work patterns, and maybe you guys can help me out, and maybe if you have an opinion, put it down below in the comments, and I would love to read that. So the first one on my list is the Autumn Alpine, and this is another pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and it's a sport weight pattern. And I have purchased this pattern and had started on it, and I did get some progress done on that pattern. I was having a lot of fun with it, and I will also link that episode below where I talk more about that the Autumn Alpine that I was making before. But I actually yeah, I was loving the knitting experience of the color work, and I got through all of the color work in the yoke, but I did not love the yarn that I was using. And I used this really lovely alpaca yarn that I got from a nice farm near my house, and it was beautiful. It was so soft to touch in my hand, but I think I'm actually like very, very sensitive to alpaca yarns, because I have once years ago, my sister-in-law really nicely gave me some alpaca yarn and a knitting pattern to make a cowl. It was really so thoughtful of her, and I did make it, and it was such a beautiful cowl with I think it had like mock cables on it or something, and I could not wear it. It was just so scratchy on my neck. And the thing was, like, if the yarn felt so soft, and my sister-in-law was like, "Isn't this like the softest yarn?" And holding it, I was like, "Yeah." And then I made it, and I cannot wear it. So I think that I just, I can wear mohair, but I can't wear this alpaca yarn. So I don't know if anybody else is sensitive to that, but yeah, it's not for me, unfortunately. So I had to stop that project, and I just put it aside. But I do really like the pattern, and I really liked how it was knitting up. It was a lot of fun to knit. So I love like the folksy sort of flowers on it. I thought they were so cute. And this time I probably wouldn't do the detail around the neck. It has like alternating colors around the neck, around the collar, around the cuffs, and the hem of the sweater. I probably wouldn't do that this time. I think I like it more just a solid color with the flowers in another color. And I was thinking again to use Durarum Natura Ulysses in the color Cedar again, which is that nice green, and I would use that as the main color, and then the flowers in Poivre Blanc. So yeah, I think that that would be a lot of fun and just a very special sweater to have. My second colorwork sweater that I'm really interested in making is another sweater that I've already purchased, and it's You'll Do by Isabel Kramer. And this again is a sport weight yarn, and I would like to use, Durarum Natura Ulysses again. I'm not really sure about the colors that I want to do in that. If I wanted to do it like a light color with a darker, maybe green or something color work, or I'm not really sure, maybe a charcoal for the color work. I don't know. I like this pattern because it's not super Christmassy, but it definitely is a fun like winter motif. And yeah, I'm knitting one of Isabel Kramer's patterns right now. It's called Forager, and I'm loving this pattern. It's very clearly written, and I'm just loving how it's knitting up. So I would love to try another one of her patterns. So we've come to the end of all of my fall knitting plans, and now I wanted to talk about some of my sewing plans. So if you're only here for the knitting, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for showing up today. I had a lot of fun talking about these fall projects, and I hope you got some new inspiration for some things. And if you are planning to knit any of these, I'd love to know which one, if you wanted to comment down below. Or if you're planning on knitting some other patterns, please leave those ones below as well. I love to get inspiration from other people too for some, patterns I might not have thought of making. All right, so let's get started talking about some of my sewing plans. So of course, first one on my list is another pair of Burnside bibs, and this is a pattern by Sew House 7, and this will be my fourth pair that I'm making now. And I'm actually currently in the process of making these ones, and I'm using a really nice cotton twill. I think it's called Lived In Cotton Twill by Blackbird Fabrics in just the color black. And I love them, how they're working out so far. I really like this. It's sort of a medium weight twill, and it's really, really easy to sew. Like I've made 3 pairs of linen Burnside bibs, and linen is easy to sew with, but the twill is even easier. So it's been going really well. I'm really excited. I'm making the version with the darts in the back and the zipper on the side. I really like the way that that fits. So yeah, I will put a link down below to my last video where I talk more in depth about the Burnside bibs if you're interested in seeing my other pair that I made. Yeah, I also have another pair that I just finished in a really pretty blue color. It's a blue denim color, which I'm going to talk about on my next regular podcast. If you're interested in seeing that, please, yeah, that one will be coming in the next couple weeks. And yeah, very excited to have these black ones finished and to hopefully wear them in the future with my DRK everyday sweater. Those are my plans. I also have fabric to knit another pair of Pietra pants by Closet Core, and I will link down below the video where I talk more about my previous pairs. I have made 2 other pairs of these pants, and I love them. And so if you're interested in that, I will link that down below, and you can check out that video. But I'm also going to do this in a cotton twill, black cotton twill as well. These are just really fun wide leg pant with a very flat front, and then they have elastic just in the back, and they have really cool like deep pockets in the front, which I really like. Yeah, and I think that these pants would look really great with that autumn alpine sweater I'm sort of planning. So yeah, I can't wait to make another pair of those. And then I've just ordered some fabric to make a pair of lander pants, and this is a pattern by True Bias. And I've ordered a really lovely corduroy fabric from Fabricville, and it's in the color Storm, which I'll put a picture up of what that color looks like. So to me, it kind of looks like a sort of dusty tealish blue, like dark tealish blue color. A lot of the times, though, the pictures on the Fabricville website are a lot different than what the fabric actually looks like, and I've been surprised a few times with when it shows up, it doesn't look exactly like that. So I've got my fingers crossed that this one is like does look similar to the picture. And anyway, these lander pants come in 3 different views. There's shorts, there's a cropped pant, and then there's a full length pant. And they have front and back patch pockets, belt loops, and a straight fit through the legs, which sort of looks slightly flared to me, but they say it's a straight fit. I love the button fly detail. I think that would be really cool. So I've ordered some sort of antique brass buttons that you just like hammer on. So I'm excited to try that out because I've never done that before. And the really cool thing about the lander pants is they have a sew along on their website. So if you need any extra help with that, you've got that there on their website. They do say, I think it's an intermediate pattern. So I don't know. Hopefully it goes well. They do have, like, I think it's an expansion pack or something like that they call it, where you can get the instructions to do a zipper fly if you don't want to do the button fly. But I really like that look. It kind of looks like 70s to me, and I think it would look really cute with some kind of like a crop sweater. And I don't know, maybe in the future I'll make, if the DRK everyday sweater goes well, then I might make another one in a color that will match that storm color corduroy. I think that would look really cool. Another pattern that I've ordered the fabric for is called B6250, and it's a Butterick coat. And I've ordered some plaid, it's called jacketing from Fabricville. And yeah, it's a really nice, like grayish sort of plaid color. And I'm not really sure what jacketing feels like. So it's really hard to order something online. I don't really know what that's going to feel like, but it does say in the product description that it's good for making like skirts, dresses, pants, and I think wraps or something. So I think it will look really good for this this pattern, which is, I'll put a picture up of it if I haven't already. It's an unlined coat that's very loose fitting, and it has a really nice like shawl collar on it, and pockets and drop shoulders. And I thought that this is like perfectly cozy for fall. I think the pattern is meant to be like really oversized, so I might make a size smaller, just because I don't really like the huge oversized look. But I might make it a size smaller, and I think it would look really nice with some like dark jeans and maybe a black turtleneck or something and some boots. Yeah, I think it would look really super cozy for fall. And my last one, I'm interested in making a pinafore style dress, and I can't remember the name of the pattern for this. The penny pinafore, I'm not really sure, but I'll put a picture and the name up here. And of course, everything will be linked down below. And I really like this, this cute dress. I thought that this would be really fun to make. It has pockets in it, and I like that it doesn't flare out a lot. It looks like a very straight sort of skirt, which I think suits my body type more, or I just like it better. I like the look of it better on me. And so, yeah, I thought that this would be really cute in either, I don't know, like a navy corduroy fabric, or I might make it out of some more of that cotton twill. I think would look really nice. And I think that would look cute with that, again, with the DRK sweater underneath it. I think that would look really nice. So yeah, those are all my sewing plans for the fall season. Let me know in the comments down below if you're making any of these sewing patterns, or if you're planning to sew something else. I'd love to see what you're interested in making for the fall for your sewing projects. And anyway, that is everything for today on my fall knitting and sewing plans. I hope you got some inspiration here, and thank you again so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you and love being able to share all of my plans and projects with you. And yeah, if you haven't already, and only if you want to, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps YouTube to know who to share these my videos with other crafty makers like you and I. I hope to be back again in a couple weeks with another regular podcast. I have a lot of I should actually have a finished object to share with you. Yeah, and hopefully I will have some progress made on my DRK everyday sweater, and hopefully have finished my other songbird mitten. I hope so. So anyway, thank you so much again for being here, and I will see you again soon. I'm going to now go and take off this sweater because it is September now, but it still is summer. So let's be real. I am sweating right now. So I'm going to go take this off and have some more water, and I will see you again soon. Bye.